Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I love any kind of color changers, but I think they're especially fun around Halloween time because they give that kind of Halloween-y, spooky type vibe. So I have these two powders from Sensations of the Eye. This is Fright Night and Sorceress, and they are both thermal dip powders. And Fright Night also has the added bonus of being a glow. So if you're not familiar with thermal dip powders, that just means they change colors depending on temperature. So whether it's hot or cold, they're change colors. They're super fun. And of course, I can't just dip my nails. I want to do a little bit of nail art as well. So I have this stamping plate from Maniology. This is M510, so we'll do a little fun Halloween nail art stamping as well. So let's go ahead and get into it because I'm super excited for this Mani. Both of the dips that I'm going to be using are solid colors, so I'm going to start with my lightest color first, which is Fright Night. So this is a thermal and a glow, so as you can see in the cold state here, it's the orange. When it's warm, it turns into white, and it also glows. So because these come in baggies, I can't really dip in baggies, so I'm just going to pour out the dips into my Chaos Gemerald by Chaos Concepts, and I love using these for these purpose because for storage the baggies are a lot easier. They take up less room. I can just pour them in my Gemerald, and then once I'm done I can just easily pour it back into the baggie without any mess. It doesn't stick to the Gemerald, so it's just super easy and convenient to do. So I am using my ManiBoss dip liquids, and I'm just going to apply a thin even layer of dip base to my entire nail, and then I'm going to go ahead and dip into Fright Night. Once I dip into the powder, I want to go ahead and clean up my cuticle area using my precision tool. I want to make sure there's no product on my skin because that can cause lifting. And as I'm doing this, because it's warmer in my room, you can start to see that thermal change. So my hands are warmer, so you can start seeing it change into that white. And that's how sensitive these thermals are. They are so fun to watch during the dipping process. If you want to do some shopping, I do have discount codes down below in the description. I always try to leave them in the description of all my videos because sometimes I forget to mention them in the video. So I like you to have easy access to those codes as well. So for Sensations of the Eye, I do have an ambassador code, Jeannie15, that saves you 15% off your orders, but it is a one-time code. There's also a ManiBoss code. Whatever codes that I have, they're down below. If you want to do some shopping, make sure you check there, as well as for all my videos. I always try to link all the products that I'm using in the video that you're seeing in the description as well, just so you have easy access to them. Sometimes I forget, or sometimes the product's not available, but if there's something that you're looking for that it's not linked in the description, leave a comment, send me a message, let me know, and then I'll see if I can track it down for you if it is available. But back to my dipping process, Fright Night is going to go on my index finger and middle finger. And so I just finished dipping my middle finger, and sometimes after I dip, I like to press down just to make sure that all the powder is absorbed into that dip base. But once my dip base is fully dry, I'm going to go ahead and dust off the excess powder using my dust brush, and that way I don't gunk up my dip base brush with any excess powder, and it doesn't make my layers like thick or uneven. So it's always good to dust off the excess powder. So once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and go in with layer 2, which is going to be the same process as my first layer. So I'm applying a thin even layer of dip base to my entire nail. I want to make sure that I'm not getting any of that dip base on my skin, and I don't want to flood my cuticle. So I always start with my brush about the middle point of my nail, never at the cuticle line. I brush downwards towards the free edge, and then I'll work my way upwards towards my cuticle area. And then once I've got that full coverage, because for the second layer, if I missed any spots with the first layer, I want to make sure that I'm getting it with the second layer. So I take my time a little bit more, just because I don't like to do more than 2 layers if I can help it. But you can see here, it's warm in my room, so the color is changing as I'm dipping, and it's just so fun. So I feel like Heather, who owns Sensations of the Eye, she makes the most unique dips. She's got like so many crazy dips, and they're always like really unique. So the thermals and the glows are always super insane. UV changers, crazy glitter mixes, like you name it. It's just so unique. But I have to say, the thing that I think is underrated about her company is her solids. Everyone knows her for her crazy dips, but I have to say her solids are excellent. So if you're looking for staple solids to add to your collection, definitely recommend checking her out because they are super easy to use. A lot of times I don't have to do any filing or buffing. They're just really that great. The other thing I'll mention is usually her dips are limited. Usually she'll make one batch of the dips and then once they're sold out, they're gone. Sometimes she will make a new batch of the color, but it may not be the exact same because it is a different batch. So I think if you're in her Facebook group, you can always ask her if she can make another batch of a certain color, if there's something you're eyeing. Sometimes she will, depending on like materials and whatever else she has planned. But most of the dips that I use from her are sold out. Like these two that I'm using, I don't believe are available anymore, but there may be other similar colors that are available. So just make sure that you check out her Facebook group or check out her website or whatever. So I don't think I can link these two dips, but I can always link her. I can at least link her website down below in the description in case you want to check it out. But anyway, that's enough of that. So I finished with my 2 dips of Fright Night, and now I've moved on to Sorceress. So this one is a thermal as well. It doesn't glow, but it's a super fun thermal. So as you can see here, you can see it's kind of like a grayish purplish color. So it may actually be a triple thermal, but when it's cold, it's like a dark gray, almost black, I think, or it could be like a really dark purple, almost black. I can't really tell. I couldn't decide what it was, but when it's warm, it's just a lighter purple color. I mean, it's still a dark purple, but not as dark, like almost black looking color. So it's really fun. It's kind of dark and moody, and I think it goes really well for this Halloween mani. So I'm going to finish up my first dip of this on my pinky. I'll go in and do my second layer, and then I'll hop back on and we can get into some stamping. I ended up speeding up my second layer a little bit just because I was eager to get into the stamping. So I went ahead and capped my nails in clear, activated and filed and buffed off camera. So here's how my mani's looking. So now we're going to get into the stamping. So Maniology sent me over, this plate is M510, and it is such a fun Halloween plate, and I was super excited to use this because I love anything Halloween related. So these are the two polishes I'm going to use. I'm going to use this lime green and this purple, and they're just even more fun, like pop of color to go against my base colors. So I'm starting with the purple first. I'm applying a generous amount of that polish to the image that I want to stamp. I'm scraping at a 45-degree angle that excess polish, and then I'm going to roll my jelly stamper to pick up that image. If there's any other parts of other images that I pick up on the stamper, I don't want that on my nail. So I'm just going to take that scraper card and I'm just going to gently remove that from the stamper. And then I did this a few times before, and what I was finding is because I was taking a little extra time to clean up, the stamping polish was drying on me, so it wasn't sticking to my nail, it wasn't transferring. So, and because it was warmer too, because stamping polish is faster drying. So I went ahead and applied a layer of sticky base coat to my nail. And so I wait till it's not completely wet, but it's not completely dry. It's just a little bit tacky. And then once it gets to that tacky point, which it takes a few seconds, it's really quick, I'm going to go ahead and apply the image to my nail. You can see the image I stamped is bigger than my nail, so there's some of that polish on my skin, but I'm not really going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about cleaning it up just yet, because if I try to clean it up, I could accidentally remove some of that image on my nail. So usually I like to wait till I at least apply a smudge-free top coat first and then clean up. So for the meantime, it's just going to look a little bit messy. So before I move on to my next images, I'm going to go ahead and clean off my plate. So I have this little cotton pad and I've got my cotton grabber. I'm using a little bit of acetone to clean off the excess polish from my plate. It's going to take a few seconds to dry and then I can move on to my next image. So I think stamping is so fun. Sometimes it can be a pain, but I really do enjoy the stamping polish because it's an easy way to get nail art without it taking much work. So I'm applying a generous amount of that polish to the design I want. I'm taking my scraper card. So these plates are etched. So scraping it kind of puts the polish like in that etching so you're able to pick up that image. I picked up a little extra image, so I'm making sure to remove anything that I don't want on my nail. And then I'm applying that layer of sticky base coat. I love sticky base coat. I cannot live without it. This one's from Maniology as well. Like I said, I'll leave everything linked down below in the description because your dip nails are dry, and then if your polish is dry, it's not going to stick. Dry is not going to stick to dry, so it needs something tacky to adhere to. If you work fast enough to where your stamping polish is still wet, it'll stick to your dip nails, but I was working a little bit slower. It was hotter in the room, so the polish was drying even quicker. So that sticky base coat gives something for that polish to adhere to. So it's just a lot easier, and then you don't have to worry about trying to restamp and repick up the image because it wouldn't transfer the first time. Actually, I guess I ended up cleaning up the excess polish before I got to the top coat. Completely forgot I did that because usually by the time, between the time I film and do the voiceover, usually like days, sometimes weeks pass. So sometimes I forget what I did. But anyway, so I cleaned up the excess polish. I'm going to use a dip top coat, so I need to protect the stamping polish because if I went straight in with activator, it would completely smear all the polish. So once the polish is completely dry, usually about like 5 minutes or less, then I'm going to go in with the smudge-free top coat. So this is an air dry top coat that I get from Maniology, and I'm not sure what the formulation is, but it doesn't smear the polish, so it helps protect the stamping because I did that work. I don't want to end up smearing it. Now, if you're not using dip top coat, if you're using a gel base and gel top coat, you can skip this step. Or if you don't want to use dip top coat and you just want to use like a regular polish top coat or just leave it at the smudge free top coat, you totally can. It's totally personal preference. So I'm going to let the smudge free top coat dry. It's like 5 minutes or less. It's completely dry. I want to make sure that it's completely dry. And then once I've confirmed that, I'm going to go in with one final layer of activator. Now, when I apply my activator, I want to make sure that I'm floating that brush. I don't want to drag it through that smudge-free polish because then you can also smear the smudge-free top coat and then smear the stamping polish underneath it. So I'm being very quick, very light-handed, kind of floating that activator on top of the smudge-free top coat, just really quick strokes. Once that's on, I'm going to go ahead and wait a full 2 minutes before I go in with my top coat. So the 2 minutes have passed. For my first layer of dip top coat, I'm applying it in 2 to 3 swipes on each nail. In between each nail, I'm making sure I'm wiping off my brush on a lint-free wipe before returning it to the bottle. And then once I'm done with my 5th nail, I'm ready to go in with my second layer of top coat. So for my second layer, I'm going to make sure that I've got everything covered if I missed anything in the first layer. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take a couple extra strokes if needed. I also want to make sure that I'm capping my free edge. And I also like to make sure that I'm wiping my brush on a lint-free wipe in between each nail, even for my second layer. As always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles. This time I'm using a cuticle balm. So this is from Scales of a Mermaid. This is the scent Crunchy, which was a September limited edition scent. But the good news is limited edition scents are now kind of pre-order, so they're available for 30 days after release date. So this one is available until October 29th. If you like sweeter, nutty type scents that are good for fall, definitely check this scent out. I love it. It's just so dimensional. The scent keeps shifting the longer I wear it, but it's a really great, like, deep baked goods scent. It's a little bit nutty. It's just like perfect for the fall. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. I just wanted to do some fun colors, do some really fun stamping. I hope this video is helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.